in a small town down in Arkansas, where the river flows. There's a man with a passion that everybody knows. He's got a collection that'll make you stare. Vintage pocket knives laid with tender care.
Howdy everybody. Welcome once again to HT's EDC. Coming at you this morning from the love seat. Once again, it is miserably cold here this morning. We have had a little ice storm through the night. All the pine trees are all iced up, and we actually lost power last night right at the crack of midnight. And honestly, we just got it back about it's been on now maybe 20-30 minutes. So yeah, one of those that is typical for South Arkansas. We don't get a whole lot of the white, pretty, fluffy stuff when it gets frozen. When it comes to frozen precipitation, we more so get ice. And last night was yeah, we got more of the same. But anyway, power's back on, and I was like, well, wasn't gonna be no video today, but hey, we're up and running again, and was able to get a cup of coffee going, and why not? Got to say a quick thank you to everybody that reached out yesterday and had kind words for me and my wife. As far as little bit, he has gone on to doggy heaven, and yes, that was an extremely tough day and decision yesterday to make, but it was the right one. And but anyway, there was a lot of kind words and a lot of support yesterday, and we thank you for that. So moving on, what's gonna do a quick what you toting. You already know what's in my left front pocket. No surprise. The Holy Land pocket cross. And today I am back to carrying one of my absolute favorite knives. And this is, yeah, and I am fixing to say it, listen to me closely. I did not stutter. One of my favorite knives in my collection, and it's a Rough Ryder. And you guys know where they're made? Yeah, over, you got to cross that salty water and all that. They make them over there. Yep, HT said it. One of my favorite knives in my collection. This is the Cattleman Rough Ryder Cattle knife, and it is what it is a cigar Jack knife in bone. This was part of that cinnamon bone stag series that they made, which, if you guys, I don't know how many of you know, it's one of those, if you know, you know. One of the main problems they had with this series was the dye jobs on them, especially in the middle where they did like their black, what was supposed to be kind of burnt or whatever. Well, they dyed it, and a lot of that black dye on them would just wash off. Whatever dye they used did not take. I don't know if it was cheap dye, what have you, but a lot of people complained about the ink coming off of this series. Well, the only thing that has stopped me from carrying this knife was its looks. I had kind of just put it up. It was kind of an ugly duckling. Mine did fade, and it just looked like crap. And I'm like, well, HT, you've got into, you know how to do these. I'm getting into the burning, the torching bone, doing a little mods, more and more mod work. And I'm like, why don't we revisit this? So I did. I pulled this out of the old abyss yesterday and brought it out. And you guys tell me, that is these darks you see now, that is not ink. That is burn. That is legitimate burnt bone, torch bone, and I think it matches up pretty good. And that is now here to stay. So that's not going to wash off. So anyway, I am back to carrying one of my favorite knives, and that is what's going in my pocket today. These are carbon steel. I don't know how much you can tell, but there is some teeners going on here. I had got a little teeners on it before I kind of put this one up, but I absolutely love this knife. Has the long nail pull on it, on the main blade, and a Cigar Jack is just awesome in hand. It's totally neutral, just feels really good. This guy is nice and broad across the back, and this is real bone. This is now it's dyed and torched bone, but yeah, just I will it'll be hard pressed to put this one back up in a case anymore, because like I said, I loved everything about this knife except the looks of it, and we have changed that, and I think it's handsome now. You guys may say I did hideous. That's okay, as long as you're halfway polite about it. You know, constructive criticism is fine on this channel. I have pretty thick skin, but I think it looks pretty good now. Good enough for me to tote. Love this pointy clip point blade. I love this knife. And yes, it is a Rough Ryder. Jimmy Crackcorn, and I don't care. It fits my hand. It's carbon steel. Love the blade shape. Love the heft. I don't know what else to say, but I love it, and that's what's going in my pocket today, and probably a lot of todays, because like I say, I absolutely love everything about this knife. 4 1/4 inch. If you wondered how long this is the same size as a large 75 Stockman, so 4 1/4. So it is a by definition, it is an HT biggin. Even has half stops. I don't know if I've showed y'all that. If I can get this thing back open, little guy here. It even has a little pen blade here, but check this out. Half stops. Yeah, love everything about it. Pinch bolsters. I digress, but that is what's in the pocket today. And since I really, I'm gonna be honest with you, didn't think there was gonna be a video today. Thought I would be in here with, we do not, I know y'all are gonna get at me in the comments, I do not own a generator. Okay, process that. I'm not the only one in the world, so I know you're gonna say, you know, why don't you have a generator, HT? I don't have a generator. So I thought today we'd probably have a lot of candles out, you know, till daybreak. I already do have a fire going, so rest assured we weren't going to freeze to death, because I do have a fireplace, just no generator. But graciously, good Lord, turned the power back on. Anyway, didn't plan on having a video. I figured we'd be in here by candlelight and staying warm by the fireplace, and today just wasn't going to be a video for YouTube. Was going to be low down on the pecking order. So I'm kind of throwing this together. Definitely not my best work, but we got something, you know, we got something for you. But since today is Friday, and I thought to myself, you know, I have not done a fixed blade Friday in forever. So, hey, and let's keep it spicy. You know, I didn't plan, this video wasn't planned. It happened to be Friday, and I'm like, you know what? Let me show them one of my favorite fixed blades. Now, faithful people for this channel, you have seen this knife before. So, like I said, this is kind of impromptu, but maybe a lot of people that are newer to my channel have not, and have not heard of this company, and if you haven't, this is for you. And I am talking about none other than Bradford knives. Yep, this is the Bradford Guardian 3. One of their main series is their Guardian line, and they start from, is this a 3 or is this a 3.5? This is a 3. This is the very smallest one, their most EDC size fixed blade in the Guardian series, and it goes all the way up to like 5.5. They go in halves. There's 3, 3.5, 4, 4.5, all the way up to like 5 or 6. I want to say they stopped at 5.5. I could be mistaken. There could be a 6 or a 6.5, but they just progressively get bigger, all the way from an EDC size like this up to that 5.5 is more of an outdoor whacker, you know, a bushcraft, you know, show enough big fixed blade. So you get it. But this is their little EDC, pocket friendly, comes with a nice Kydex sheath here with a nice thumb ramp. I'll let y'all listen to this. Excellent sheath that comes with this. You hear that? Well, let me hold my lanyard. This thing is rock solid. Nice thumb ramp here to push off your knife and deploy it. Nice Kydex. I have added some soft loops on here where I can run this horizontal on my belt, scout carry, if you will. That's how I like to tote my fixed blades. So it runs just like this on my belt. But anyway, just a fantastic little cutter. You guys that like the fixed blades, and especially like to EDC a fixed blade, this is one you may want to give a look. They're out of Washington State, USA made. A guy named Brad Larkin is the owner of Bradford Knives. Yes, Brad Larkin. I'm sure that's had something to do there with the name. Excuse me. But they are just fantastic people. I have, I don't know, 5 or 6 of their fixed blades now. They have a model that's just up from this. This is their smallest, the 3, and then they have a 3.5 that I also am crazy over. All of mine are either 3s, the smallest, or the 3.5, which is just a skosh, maybe half an inch longer, a little more in the handle. Might not even be any more in the blade. They just might give you a little longer handle on the 3.5. And I know one of the other things here, some people may not like this where the blade, you know, I mean, you have a big, generous finger guard here, but the blade does kind of come to the end of it, so you kind of got to be conscientious of that. Well, on the 3.5, they have a sharpening choil on there, and per se, it's a little safer. You don't have to think about this right here, about that blade, you know. If you slipped off of this right here, that you could potentially get cut. I've never had no problem with the 3.5s. I'm kind of careful with my knives not to say that it couldn't happen. But anyway, on the 3.5, they still give you a generous finger guard, but they give you a little choil right here. The blade does not come all the way to the end of your finger choil. So I do kind of dig that. I like not having to think about it, but I like them both. So like I say, I got 2 or 3 of these 3s, and I got 2 or 3 of the 3.5s, and I love them. Like I say, American made. This is kind of their badging there. Bradford USA on that side. Well, actually, and then on the other side, it tells you the model number. This is the Guardian 3. And right here, right below the ricasso, is the blade steel. If I can get that to come through, I don't know if I can or not, but that is CPM-Magnacut. So I kind of treated myself with this model. You know, when the Magnacut craze came out, I went ahead and got one in the Magnacut. Actually kind of got, you're going to say, well, you and you talked about those loud covers on there. I think they call this toxic green and black covers. So yeah, I went a little funky on this one. I got Magnacut, and I got a loud kind of crazy handle on this one. Hey, sometimes you just want a fun knife, and that to me says fun. Of course, I have added a little knurled bead on here and a piece of leather to give it a little pizzazz, a little HT touch. But man, this thing is awesome. Check out this blade grind on there. We have a kind of a high saber on this one. If you can see right up here, that secondary bevel starts way up high here. So about 3/4 of your blade, you know, you start thinning out from this bevel right here, and you start thinning out, coming down to your cutting edge. And this gets pretty thin. I have no problem slicing. This knife does every EDC task I throw at it. And of course, you know, I'm not a big steel snob. Obviously, I'm a traditional knife guy, and I have a multitude of knives in 440A, 440 series stainless, carbon steel. You know, those are, I'm sorry to tell you folks, but I do know metallurgy. I'm not an idiot. I choose to, I make a choice that I like to carry traditional knives. And like I say, if you're a traditional knife guy, you're pretty much not gonna, you know, it's hard to be a metal snob, a blade steel snob, and carry, you know, 440A, 440 series stainless and carbon steels, because by no stretch are they king of edge retention and anything like that. But I like them, and I don't care. I can sharpen them. I know how to maintain a knife. Whether it's Magnacut or it's 440A stainless steel, I mean, if you know how to maintain your knife and sharpen a knife, the only difference is one may take a little longer to get sharp if it's a harder, you know, stronger or harder steel, and it may hold that edge longer. It may hold it, yes. Will Magnacut hold the edge longer than 440 stainless or Case's True Sharp? Absolutely it will. Will it take longer to sharpen at the bench to bring back versus something as soft as, you know, I'm just using Case, I won't even pick on Case, carbon steel. Good old 1095 carbon steel. You can get that back hair popping sharp in, shoot, 10 minutes. 10 minutes, unless you have just wrecked an edge, I can get a carbon steel blade back hair popping sharp. Where something like this may take, you know, 20 minutes if you let it go just and get just as dull and roll the edge. So it's a trade-off. Holds that edge once you get it back on there considerably longer. Takes twice as long to get the edge back on. It's a trade-off. I like them all. Do I have an appreciation for the super steels and the ones that hold an edge for infinity in a day? I do. Like I said, I come from modern. You know, I used to be in the modern knife game, you know, hot and heavy. It's not just, I found a home in traditional knives. Don't see myself going back anytime soon. I like the history. I like the mystique, the nostalgia, what have you, of traditional knives. But don't think, you know, we're all just dumb hillbillies that can't understand metallurgy. That is not the case. I understand it fine. I choose to carry carbon steel and traditional knives. Anyway, got off on a rant, but this is a super steel. This is Magnacut, and prime example. I did splurge, and it was an option on this knife, and I went ahead and got Magnacut. So I like it all. I like it all. I have an appreciation for what Magnacut does. I do. It's darn near, its claim to fame is its corrosion resistance. You can almost outside of leaving this in salt water for 6 months, this thing is almost not going to rust. If you cut your veggies, you cut an orange, a tomato, an apple, and you just wipe it off and throw this in your pocket, you probably ain't going to see one iota. Now, if you do that with carbon steel or, 1095, you're going to have red rust until you get a good patina going. If you just do that and neglect your knife like you could Magnacut, you're going to have some of that ugly red rust. But this guy here is, the claim to fame is its corrosion resistance, and it's good at everything else. It's fairly tough. It has good edge retention, and it has ridiculous corrosion resistance. So anyway, I splurged on this one, but honestly, I could have got this. I love this knife. This could have been in 1095 carbon steel. If they'd offered this in 1095 carbon steel and it was $50 cheaper, I'd have got the carbon steel because I just like this little knife. But anyway, we've talked 20 minutes about absolutely nothing today. Like I said, this is what happens when I don't think I'm going to do a video, but we throw something together. But I did want to show you guys the Bradford USA Guardian 3. These are fantastic. If you've never heard of this company and something like this appeals to you, again, I'll let you see that in my hand. These things are like 6, and I should have had a tape measure, like 6 3/4 inches overall. It's like a 3.5 inch handle. And I know this blade up here, you've got 3 inches of cutting edge. So I think this is like a 3.5 inch blade, the whole length from right here to here. And I think this is like 3 or 3.5 inch handle. It's under 7 inches. I think it's like 6.5 or 6 3/4 overall. But the fact that they give you this inch guard here, you say, well, I can't get on 3 inches. I can't get on fit on a 3 inch handle. How do you do that? How do you pull that off? Well, that's where the magic is. They give you this big choil up here, and look at there. It is just perfect. I mean, I am right to the edge of it. And that's kind of why also I put a little lanyard on here. If I had to kind of get back on this knife, I got myself a pinky lanyard with a nice little knurl bead on here. But with this finger choil, I can get all 4 fingers on this knife. There's that pinky, there's real estate, and I'm landing right there. And I have a fantastic purchase on this little thing. It's everything you need and nothing you don't. So this is the Bradford USA Guardian 3. Awesome little fixed blade. This one's in toxic green and black. It's G10, I believe, because they have some G10s in my Carta, but I believe this is the G10. And Kydex sheath. Nice little EDC carry package. So there it is. Anybody stuck with me, thank you for my little sticking with me with my little thrown together fixed blade Friday. We love you. Hopefully the power stays on down here in the stone, and we can get you a little something better. Tomorrow's video, I do have a couple things that are set to come in the mail, so maybe we'll have a new knife day tomorrow and show y'all something new. Till then, we love you. God bless. I'm HT, and I'm out.
Buck knives gleaming under that old porch light. He'll tell their stories deep into the night. Reviews and torture tests, it's a sight to see.